All right, guys, we're going to play around with this Casio G-Shock Frogman. It's called the Borneo Toad or Rainbow Toad. So it's the first frog that's a toad, I guess. But here is the part number. It's a GWF-A1000BRT, retail price of $1,100, using the module 5623. So, big thanks to Jerry. 3D Jerry. He's the guy that does all these 3D prints and everything. I'll put a link to his Etsy store in the description. And then also, big thanks to John over at the Watch Cage, who sent this over to me. Jerry bought it from John at the Watch Cage, and then they sent it directly over to me, so we all can look at it, so we can share it on video. A lot of people help make this channel be what it is, so big thanks to everybody that helps. All right, let's get into this because I have the base model frog over here as well, so we can check out, because there's a lot of people that, including myself to a certain point, I can see the valid reason to go to the analog display versus the digital, but I know there's a lot of people that are definitely not on board with it, so, and I get that as well. But before we get into that, let's talk about the case size, because that's how I typically start my video. So, excluding crown guards and crown, I guess, if we're going to keep it fair, so like imagine that gone, this thing is only 47 millimeter. Keep in mind when I say only, we're talking big G-Shocks here. So 47, 52.5 lug to lug, 17.9 thick. That's from the bottom. This is a monocoque case. It's all resin or carbon or whatever, up to this rainbow bezel here. And it does have a sapphire crystal with AR coating, but I'm not counting the height with this transparent resin protector around the outside. So almost 18 mil thick. Weighs in at 120 grams. So it's really not that heavy either. Now compare that to the size of this. Wait, before I do that, I did take the measurement all the way to the crown too, because why the heck not, right? 52.6 millimeter total width. So I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers at you here, but when you look at these side by side, the analog one to me looks bigger, but part of that is because you're looking at more dials. So it's like a little bit of an optical illusion, because 47 on this without the crown and crown guards, and then this one is 50.5. And then I said 52.6 total. So if you count the total, then this one is smaller. Lug to lug, this guy is 52.5, this guy is 54. That kind of almost doesn't really matter when it comes to G-Shocks though, because it's just the way they fit on wrist. And then I said 17.9 thick on the rainbow. This one's 15.5, so it's definitely thinner as well. Non-sapphire crystal on this one. And this one weighs in at 115 grams. So although this has the full resin case, this one has the steel screw-on case back, but yet this one's still lighter. So I'm not sure, you know, the sapphire weighs more, plus you have the metal bezel up here. I don't know, but it is what it is. So what you get, I think, at least from G-Shock's point of view, when you go to the analog, are more opportunities for crazy colorways such as this, because you have more surface area that you can play around with on those colors. So let's zoom in and check out some of these colors, because obviously you have pretty much every color you can think of. Well, yeah, they're calling it the rainbow, but it's because the Borneo Toad, which is, if you go, I'll put a link in the description so you can just click on a picture and look at it or something. But it's a very colorful toad. So this one definitely matches it. And all of these specs, you know, the asymmetric design or something here, that's like the pattern of the toad. So they're trying to tie that all in. And then the only thing that you're not going to see on that toad is the rose gold. That's set, you know, for the hardware that is typically on the premium G-Shocks. So I like that they stay consistent with that. But the rest of it, you know, you get the blue minute hand, the yellow hour hand, the green seconds hand. You have your yellow hand here and your selector, or in this case, when it's just running time, it's pointing towards Tuesday. You have this really nice pink-ish tone for the day, or for the date, the Divers 200. You have some elements of it in rainbow form on there as well. Just a great looking fun watch. And then you have some nice bold orange as well. Here's a look at the case back. There is the Toad, I guess. I mean, this Toad, when you look at the pictures of it, you don't usually think of Toads being that colorful. At least I don't. So it is pretty wild. You'd almost think it was a frog, but it isn't. So and this thing's packed full of all of the good stuff that you can think of. You know, it has the Bluetooth, the tough solar, the radio connect, all of that. So, and really for setting this up, I didn't read the manual. I just went through it, but I feel like I have a pretty good feel for most G-Shocks or Casios when it comes to operating them. I just kind of, you know, just did it and it worked. I think I got it pretty good. Now, could I explain it to you on how to do it? No, I just fiddle around with it and I make it happen. So if you're going to get one of these and you want to know how to set it up, I suggest just pairing it up with your phone and go from there. And it's going to give you more options in that app and everything like that. The one thing I did notice is on that yellow hand on that subdial over there, which is going to show you when you go click. So when you click, I think it's this one. So like right there, I don't even know what that is pointing to. I don't know what that one does. But if you click it again, it goes into stopwatch. And you're keeping your time with your hour and minute, but then your seconds hand becomes a chronograph hand, and then you push this button down here to start your chronograph. So, and then it'll count there, and it'll count longer time down here at the second dual time clock down there, which is, you can set those independently too. You can have 2 different time zones. But to stop it, you just stop it there, and then you can pick it up and start it again, or you can hit this button up here to reset the chronograph. Then you can go to the countdown timer. That's always fun to do because then you click it and it's actually going to count in reverse. And it's hard to tell, but you got to look down there. I think it's counting down maybe 10 minutes. So it'll count down, you know, 60 seconds here, but then it'll do the minutes down there on the other clock register. So to stop it again, you just click that. And then to reset it, you click there. Oh no, I'm sorry, you click. Oh, see, I'm screwing it all up. So we go back to countdown timer, and then you reset it. I hit this button on accident. See, I still just fiddle around with it to work it. So then alarm, I didn't mess around with setting the alarm, and it's in the off position. I wasn't mean and set it and figure out how to set it and turn it on for Jerry. I could do that, but I probably won't. So then once you hit this again, then you go back to your time. It does have a battery indicator there. I don't know how to do it. I'm sure there's a way to do it. You got to click some buttons or something, and it'll actually show you right on that panel there. That one up there is pointing towards, you can see it's a 24-hour clock, so you know if you're in AM or PM. And then I have the dual time set for the same time. So you can set up the dual time however you want though. And then if you look closely down there in the dual time, you're also noticing that even in the dual time, it gives you an indicator for AM or PM. So you have your indicator up there for your 24-hour clock, AM or PM, and then you have one down here for the dual time. So you can use this thing way more than most people are going to use it. It has a lot of things going on. And then there's a dive function down there too. So you can, I forget what buttons you do, but you basically it'll put the yellow hand down there towards that D, which is framed in. And then it'll put it'll put all the hands up at the 12. And then you hit go, and it's basically this green line here is your dive time. So like you'd normally have your dive bezel, it's actually going to count seconds and then minutes for your dive time. So you can chart your dive if you're going to use this diving. Maybe you would, maybe you won't. Back to the hardware. I love, maybe they're listening to me over at G-Shock. Maybe. Guys, what do you think? But they didn't do metal. See that? This watch, out of all watches, they didn't do an IP-coated, rainbow-colored retainer. Yeah, they have to have been listening to me. There's no other logical reason. So, but they went with, again, kind of a rose gold colored for the tang and buckle there. Let's pop this on wrist. Oh, then I did notice just now the tough solar on the bottom part of the band is in pink, and then on the top part is in, where it says multi-band 6, is in green. As you can see there, there's the pink and there's the green. So there it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. Frogs wear big, guys. I have a 7 1/4 inch wrist and I can wear these. I don't have a problem wearing these. Do they look big on my wrist? Sure, it is a big watch, you know, but if you have a larger wrist, you can easily wear one of these. And if you have a smaller wrist, I have seen pictures of, you know, people with probably like 6 to 6.5 inch wrist rocking some of these huge G-Shocks. It's a fashion statement in a lot of places. I mean, this is a fashion watch. It's super, super capable, but this is a collector or a fashion watch. That's what this is. These are limited. I don't know how many they made, but these are limited edition. And once they're gone, they're gone. And you know, you can, if you're a Frogman collector, comment down below. You can attest. You can share your stories with everybody. A lot of these models, they go up in price. I can't think of a single one that's went down in price. The Frogmans hold their value or go up, especially when you do the collectible stuff. So let me kill the lights and we'll do the loom. I am going to cheat a little bit and let's blast, because it does have loomed indices in handset, and then you also have an LED down at the bottom. So there is the loom. Looks like we have dual loom. So we have green indices, and then you have a nice cool blue for the hour and minute hand, and the hands on the dual time are also loomed. So, and then you go ahead and hit the light, which is the top right button, and that lights up. You know, another thing I didn't really cover because it's part of setting up the watch, and I didn't really want to get into it, but the crown is a screw-down crown, 200-meter water resist, all that stuff. In the first position, I don't think it really does anything, and then when you pop it out once, I think that's how you adjust your dual time. And then you pop it out again, and then that's how you adjust your regular time. And you basically turn it forward or backward, and it'll move the seconds hand, and then it adjusts the hour and minute, or the hour to where you would be. Oops, I went one too far. So there's what time it is now. So, and then as you're adjusting it too, because like when it came in, it was set for JDM, so it was a day ahead. So I had to adjust it back far enough that it actually turned the date wheel back. So they're pretty intuitive. If you just want to fiddle with it, I think most people can figure it out. You're not going to break it. So you can figure it out. It's not that difficult. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid.